When Tiffany finally says no to her entitled cousins and controlling aunt, she doesn't just start a fight, she starts a war. But this time, she's armed with evidence, boundaries, and the quiet strength of someone who's done being used. What happens when the family doormat flips the script? A story of betrayal, boldness, and the beauty of walking away. The day I bought my first house, my cousins decided it belonged to them. I should have seen it coming. They'd been treating my life like a timeshare for years. But I guess even doormats have their breaking point. My name is Tiffany Caldwell, and for the past 10 years, I've been the designated stable one in the family. The one who's supposed to be there no matter what emotional breakdowns, relationship disasters, job losses, you name it. I've cleaned it up. While everyone else stumbled their way through adulthood, I worked overtime, took on side gigs, and managed my credit like a Wall Street analyst just to carve out some kind of future. And now, after years of sacrifice, I had it my own house. My name on the mortgage, my rules, my sanctuary. Or at least, that's what I thought. I had just slipped the mortgage approval letter into my work bag when Lorelai, my overly entitled, Chardonnay guzzling cousin, rummaged through my fridge like she paid rent. "Tiff, your Greek yogurt's gone bad," she called, her voice echoing through the kitchen like a fire alarm at 7 o'clock a.m. on a Tuesday. "That yogurt was fresh yesterday," I shouted from my bedroom, pulling on slacks and fixing my hair for another long day at the office. "Well, it tastes funny now. I heard the container hit the trash can. You should buy the organic brand I like instead." I closed my eyes and counted to 10, then 20. My mortgage letter weighed heavily in my purse like a gold bar. I hadn't told anyone, not even Naomi, my best friend since college. After 5 years of being everyone's fallback plan, I was finally securing something for myself. "Hey, did you wash my workout clothes from last week?" Reagan, my other cousin, appeared in my doorway like she owned the place, wearing my favorite sweater again. "I left them in your hamper." "You mean the ones you've left here for 3 weeks?" I replied, not even looking at her. "So, you didn't wash them?" she asked, genuinely puzzled. "No," I said calmly, "I didn't." She flopped onto my bed like a starfish, messing up my carefully arranged pillows. "God, you're so uptight lately. What's your problem?" My problem was sprawled across my comforter, wearing my sweater and treating my home like a hotel. But instead of answering, I grabbed my purse and headed for the door. "Lock up when you leave," I said, knowing they wouldn't. They never did. It work. The air felt different. Maybe it was the knowledge of my house sitting there, on Cedar Street, waiting to be mine. A modest craftsman, 2 bedrooms, a cozy yard, a porch just big enough for coffee and peace. I checked the letter again between meetings just to reassure myself it was real. Naomi's text popped up. "You telling them at the BBQ tonight?" "Have to," I replied. "Want backup?" "I can bring wine and a taser." I smiled. Naomi knew exactly what kind of chaos a family gathering could unleash. That night, Aunt Rachel's backyard pulsed with the scent of grilled meat and bad decisions. Paper lanterns swayed above picnic tables littered with red cups and passive-aggressive commentary. The air was thick with humidity and tension. I waited until everyone had a few drinks in them. The timing had to be perfect. My heart thudded as I cleared my throat. I bought a house. The backyard stilled, then a chorus of cheers, clinks of plastic cups, and congratulations from the relatives who never called unless they needed a favor. For a moment, it felt okay. Then Lorelai shrieked, "Oh my God, this is perfect. Ray and I were just saying we needed a change of scene." My stomach turned to ice. "What? We'll help you move in," Reagan chimed in, pulling out her phone. "I'm thinking we could do like a roommate thing, split the bills and everything." That's not really, this is so exciting." Lorelai threw an arm around me. Her breath reeked of Pinot Grigio. "We'll finally all live together like we always talked about." "We never talked about that," I muttered, my voice drowned out by their chatter. "I call the master bedroom," Reagan declared. General laughter. Across the yard, Naomi met my eyes and mimed a throat-cutting gesture. "Shut it down." But I didn't. I stood there, my smile plastered on like a mask. That's when it clicked. as Reagan texted her boyfriend about their new place, and Lorelai started looking up sectional couches for our living room, something inside me snapped. Quietly, without warning, I took out my phone. Remember that moving company you mentioned? I texted Caleb, a logistics guy at work. I need a quote. And the cheapest storage unit in town. They were still discussing paint colors and wine racks when I looked up and smiled for real. Sure, I said sweetly. I'll even hire the moving truck. That Sunday, I opened my front door to find Aunt Rachel already inside with a coffee mug. Family helps family, she said like it was a royal decree. I raised you better than this, Tiffany. I haven't even said no yet, I said calmly. Reagan bounced in with a stack of design magazines. Oh, we should do a feature wall. Something bold. You can put your desk in the living room, Lorelai said, measuring the kitchen windows. These curtains have to go. I haven't even closed on the house yet. I said, perfect timing. Reagan beamed. We can help with everything. My phone buzzed. Naomi, how's the ambush going? I typed. They're redecorating my house before I've even moved in. Tell them to back off. She replied, but Aunt Rachel had already drawn her sword. When your mother passed, I promised to look after you. She'd want you to be with family. The dead mom card. Classic. Mom would want me to be happy. I whispered. Exactly. Lorelai chirped. And nothing's happier than sisters living together. I needed to leave. Anywhere but here. Oh, speaking of work, Reagan said, I might need to borrow some money for the move. Just until my Instagram influencer career takes off. I closed the door to my bedroom and called Naomi. Girl, you need to shut this down. She said, I know. I'm just tired of being their doormat. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. I opened my laptop. A new email from Caleb. Storage unit reserved. 10 times 15. First month paid. Movers are on standby. Another text from Lorelai. Found the perfect sectional for our living room. Just $3,000. You can put it on your credit card, we'll pay you back. I stared at the message and remembered every broken promise. Every dollar. Every time I said okay when I wanted to scream no, the doorbell rang again. Isaiah stood there awkwardly, hands in his pockets. Hey, cuz. Mom sent me to help with planning. I let him in. Look, I know they can be intense. I laughed. They've picked curtains and bedrooms in my house. They're excited? No, I said sharply. They're entitled. He looked away. We're family. Stop. I raised a hand. That word doesn't mean what you think it means. Being family doesn't give you a license to abuse boundaries. He said nothing. I pulled up my notes app. Want to see how much money they owe me? Or how many parties they threw at my apartment while I was at funerals? Silence. I looked out the window as Lorelai pulled up with more paint swatches. You might want to clear your schedule, I said. Why? Isaiah asked nervously. I smiled. Because moving day's going to be one hell of a show. I ignored the buzzing phone at first, then another call, then 3 texts in rapid succession. Isaiah, Mom's having a meltdown. Isaiah again, Grandma's flying in tomorrow. Another, emergency family meeting. You have to come. Just as I muttered. Great. My doorbell began ringing like someone was trying to summon the dead. Through the peephole, Aunt Rachel, mascara streaked down her cheeks like war paint. She jabbed the bell again and again like it had personally offended her. Tiffany Murray, she shouted. Open up right now. I took a deep breath, steadied myself, and opened the door. She pushed past me, righteous fury blazing. How could you? After everything we've done for you? I could feel the heat rise in my face. The fury I'd buried for years finally catching flame. Everything you've done for me? I asked slowly. You mean like when you told everyone I was selfish for not letting Lorelai use my car after she crashed hers? Or when you guilt-tripped me for not letting Reagan throw parties in my apartment? Her voice wavered. We raised you like one of our own. No, I said. Quieter now. You raised me like something you owned. Her face went pale. Your mother would be ashamed. My mother, I said, walking to the kitchen drawer, would have wanted me to stand up for myself. I pulled out a folder and slapped it on the counter. Want to see a spreadsheet of everything your daughters owe me? Or maybe we start with pictures of my apartment after their parties. This isn't about money. You're right. It's about respect. Something they've never shown me. My phone buzzed again. The family group chat was a circus of panic. Lorelai, hope you're happy with yourself. Reagan, my crystals could get damaged in storage. Isaiah, Grandma's plane lands at Aunt Rachel. Family meeting tomorrow. PM everyone must attend. I muted the chat and looked at Aunt Rachel. Still frozen in my kitchen. You'll be there tomorrow, she said. It wasn't a question. Of course, I replied smoothly. I wouldn't miss it. After she left, I called Naomi. So, she said immediately, I hear World War III just broke out in your family. News travels fast. It's all over Facebook. Lorelai's posting cryptic statuses about betrayal and karma. Reagan's sharing quotes about toxic relatives. I laughed, more from relief than humor. At least they're consistent. You okay? I looked around. My house. Quiet. Clean. Undisturbed. No one's yoga mat in the corner. No dirty dishes I didn't make. No one is rearranging furniture or eating my snacks. Yeah, I said. I am. You need backup for the meeting? No, this is something I need to do alone. My phone buzzed again. Isaiah again. Heads up. Reagan's talking about small claims court for emotional distress and property damage. I snorted. Type back. Tell her to go ahead. I've got receipts. Minutes later. Lorelai, hope you're ready for what's coming. You picked the wrong family to mess with. I saved it. Just more evidence. Then I poured myself a glass of wine and walked the length of my home, taking in every quiet, lovely, undisturbed inch of it. My phone dinged once more. Unknown number. I nearly ignored it, then opened it. Grandma, we need to talk before tomorrow's meeting. Breakfast, 8 a.m. I stared at the message. Grandma was different, tougher, fairer. Still, she had her blind spots, especially when it came to family. 8 a.m. I typed back, but I'm not changing my mind. Her reply came instantly. Good. Neither am I. Grandma was already at the diner when I arrived. 2 black coffees on the table, one for her, one waiting for me. She didn't look angry. If anything, she looked amused. Quite a storm you've stirred up, she said. They started it. Oh, I know. She stirred her coffee. Remember when you were 10 and Lorelai claimed you broke her new bike? Even though she crashed it herself? I blinked. You knew? I've known a lot of things. She scrolled through her old flip phone. Like this. She held up a photo. Christmas 3 years ago. Lorelai was in a sweater I'd never gotten to wear. You've been keeping track? Someone had to. I was waiting to see when you'd stand up for yourself. We ordered eggs Benedict for me, blueberry pancakes for her. Why didn't you say something? I asked. Would you have listened? Or made excuses? She had me there. The meeting's going to be rough, she warned. Rachel's on the warpath. Says you've destroyed her daughters. They destroyed themselves. I just stopped enabling it. Grandma's smile was sharp, proud. Good answer. She leaned forward. Now tell me everything. Start with the storage unit. By the end of breakfast, she was laughing so hard she nearly choked on her pancakes. 1 month storage? And they have to pay after that? She wheezed. Oh, that's beautiful. You're not mad? Mad? She wiped her eyes. I'm proud. It's about time someone taught those girls consequences. The family meeting was set for PM at Aunt Rachel's. I arrived exactly on time. The living room was packed. Lorelai and Reagan sat on the couch, attempting wounded expressions. Isaiah lingered near the window. Aunt Rachel stood like a prosecutor. Finally, she snapped. Let's discuss your disgraceful behavior. Sure, I said, settling into a chair. Let's. You abandoned your family, Reagan cried. Left us homeless. You have a home, I said calmly. With your mother. Where were you living before you hijacked mine? We didn't. Lorelai started. Want me to show the texts? Videos? Spreadsheets of everything you borrowed and never returned? That's different. Aunt Rachel snapped. Family helps family. Oh, really? I pulled out my phone. So where was family when I needed help with mom's medical bills? When I worked 3 jobs to keep my apartment. Silence. Or when I had surgery last year. Neither of you visited, but she did throw a party in my apartment while I was recovering. Lorelai tried again. That's not I have pictures. Enough. Aunt Rachel's voice cracked. We raised you better than this. You took me in because it made you look good. Because it gave you someone else to control. How dare you? No, I said, steady as my hands shook. How dare you? You raised your daughters to think the world owes them everything. That they can take and call it love. That's not love. That's manipulation. Reagan wiped at her eyes. You'll regret this. Your stuff is in storage unit 247, I said. Code is 5591. You have 27 days before it's auctioned. You picked the wrong family to mess with, Lorelai whispered. I turned to leave. Karma's already here. It's called consequences. Then Grandma's voice rang out. Tiffany. I stopped, turned. She stood tall, facing the family. I'm having my Sunday dinners at Tiffany's from now on. Anyone who wants to join had better learn about respect first. The explosion of protests behind us as we walked out was almost musical. Grandma linked her arm through mine. Well, she said, that was more entertaining than my soaps. Was it worth it? I asked. She squeezed my arm. Ask me again after they get the storage bill. The first week in my house was blissfully quiet. No unexpected visitors, no borrowed clothes, no guilt trips, just peace. My phone still buzzed with angry social media posts from Reagan and Lorelai, cryptic quotes about betrayal and karma. But I didn't bite. I muted their feeds and went back to living my life. Then Isaiah called. Reagan's filing a lawsuit. He said flatly, emotional distress and property damage. I stirred cream into my coffee, calm. Let her, Tiff, he said. She's serious. She's got a lawyer and everything. I've got documentation, I replied, including the time she used my car without permission and got 3 parking tickets in my name. He paused. She did what? Ask her, I said. I've still got the receipts. After we hung up, I checked my email. 3 new rents from Aunt Rachel, all in caps. 2 from Lorelai, linking articles about cutting off toxic family members, the irony lost on her, and 1 from the storage facility. Your cousins attempted to access Unit 247 again. Escorted out by security, Caleb texted minutes later. Caleb. Security, said Reagan through her healing crystals at the guard. I nearly choked on my coffee. The doorbell rang. Naomi. I brought Chinese and heard you're being sued, she said cheerfully. I nodded. For emotional distress and imaginary damage. You've officially won, she said, digging into the takeout. They're so desperate. They're making stuff up. I showed her a string of messages from extended relatives. And Patricia. Families shouldn't treat family this way. Uncle Mike. Your mother would be ashamed. Cousin Sarah. Can't believe you did this to your blood. Naomi rolled her eyes. Where were they when your cousins were squatting in your house? I muted the chat. They think I'm the family pariah now. Good, Naomi said. Better that than the family doormat. The next day, I came home to find my mailbox stuffed with printed screenshots. Every nice thing my cousins had done for me, compiled by Aunt Rachel. A note was attached. See what you're throwing away. Lorelai lent me a dress, which she had borrowed from me first. Reagan brought me soup when I was sick. After crashing at my place for 2 weeks. More favors with strings. Then the doorbell. Isaiah. Reagan dropped the lawsuit, he said. Her lawyer saw your documentation. The credit card charges, the tickets, the party videos. All of it. Funny how evidence works, I said. He shifted awkwardly. Look. I know I didn't help. I let them walk over you too. At least you admit it. Mom's organizing a family intervention next weekend. He warned. No, I said. No more interventions. No more guilt trips. They can keep their drama. I'm keeping my peace. My phone buzzed. Grandma. Grandma. Sunday dinner still on? Me? Absolutely. Just us. Isaiah hesitated. Can I come? I want to make things right. I studied him. He'd never been cruel, just complicit. Maybe that could change. Dinner's at 6, I said. Don't be late. After he left, I walked through my house. Family photos I'd chosen. Furniture arranged itself my way. A home that was mine. A barrage of messages lit up my phone. Aunt Rachel's flying monkeys in full effect. I deleted them. Then one final message from Lorelai. Lorelai, you'll regret this. Family is forever. I stared at the words. Years of guilt trips, manipulation and control. Then typed back. Me? Family is forever. But toxic relationships don't have to be. I blocked her number. Then the doorbell again. Caleb, back up, he said, holding coffee. I smiled. Needed. Behind him, Lorelai's car pulled up. Round two? He asked. I nodded. Let's do this. Lorelai didn't knock. She pressed the doorbell repeatedly, just like she used to at my apartment, entitled, impatient, relentless. But this wasn't my apartment, and I wasn't that person anymore. Want me to handle it? Caleb offered. No, I straightened my shoulders. This is my house. My rules. I opened the door, blocking the entrance. Lorelai stood there, makeup perfect, lips curled in a smug smile. We need to talk, she said. No. We don't. We do. She pulled out her phone. See, Reagan might have dropped her lawsuit, but I've got evidence. Texts, videos, prove that you let us stay. Prove that we planned the move together. I tilted my head. You want to go to court over this? I think a judge might be interested, she said sweetly. Perfect, I said. I've got the videos where you bragged about not paying rent. Texts where you promised to repay me and didn't. And how about the credit card charges? Unauthorized, but I've got the receipts. Her smile faded. You picked the wrong war. No. You picked the wrong victim. She blinked. I'm not your safety net anymore. Not your free ride. Not your ATM. Not your emergency backup plan. We're family, Tiff. We grew up like sisters. No. I said evenly. We're cousins. And you treated me like a punching bag who owed you loyalty no matter what you did. She changed tactics. You're going to throw everything away over a few arguments? I held up my phone. The storage unit bill is due in 48 hours. You might want to grab your designer shoes. You wouldn't. I pointed to the security camera above us. Try me. You show up here again uninvited. The footage goes straight to the police. She looked shaken. For the first time in years, I saw fear instead of smug entitlement. This isn't over, she whispered. It is for me. I shut the door in her face and turned to Caleb, who stood frozen, coffee in hand. That, he said slowly, was impressive. My phone buzzed. Grandma. Heard Rachel's upset about police threats. You okay? Me. She showed up uninvited. I showed her out, respectfully. Grandma. Good girl. See you Sunday. I'm bringing pie. A text from Isaiah followed. Isaiah. Mom's crying. Lori's raging. Reagan's threat to move to Europe. What happened? Me. Growth. Try it sometime. Caleb handed me my now lukewarm coffee. You okay? I thought for a moment. About the guilt, the manipulation, the constant emotional weight. About the silence that now filled my home. Yeah, I said. I am. My phone pinged again, an email from the storage facility. Unit 247 has been emptied. Want to celebrate? Caleb asked. A new restaurant just opened downtown. Are you asking me out? Depends. You saying yes? I smiled. Only if I pay. Deal. He hesitated. You know they'll try again, right? I grabbed my keys to my house, with locks no one else had access to. I know, I said, but I don't give up easily anymore. We stepped out into the evening. The house behind me stood quiet, safe, and finally mine. The security camera blinked silently, watching the door, guarding the peace I fought so hard for. And for the first time in forever, I didn't just feel safe, I felt free. The days that followed were filled with an unfamiliar but welcome silence. The storm had passed, but I knew better than to believe it would never rain again. My phone was eerily quiet for 3 days straight. No rants, no group texts, no demands. Until Saturday morning, a handwritten envelope appeared in my mailbox, addressed in Aunt Rachel's unmistakably aggressive cursive. No return address. Inside was a letter 3 pages, front and back, filled with a blend of guilt, twisted nostalgia, and veiled threats. The final line read, "You've changed, and not for the better." I folded the letter in half and dropped it in the shredder. That evening, I rearranged the living room furniture. Again, just because I could. I put on music, poured a glass of wine, and danced barefoot across the hardwood floor. No judgment, no commentary, just freedom. Sunday arrived, and with it, Grandma. She brought cherry pie and wisdom. "You know," she said, cutting two generous slices, "I think your mother would be proud. Not because you fought back, but because you finally stopped apologizing for existing." Isaiah came too, early this time, with a store-bought salad and a sheepish look. I figured I'd ease into the earning forgiveness thing. He joked. Naomi joined us, bringing laughter and warmth. Caleb showed up last, carrying extra chairs, just in case. We didn't need them, not yet, but maybe one day. Dinner was full of laughter, stories, and moments of real connection. Not performative, not obligatory, real. As we washed dishes together, Grandma leaned in and whispered, "You started something, you know. Don't be surprised if others follow your lead." "I hope they do," I said. "Everyone deserves peace." Later that night, I sat on my porch, a blanket around my shoulders and a cup of tea in my hands. My phone buzzed once, an unknown number. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Inside, the camera blinked its steady, silent vigil. My boundaries, now guarded not just by technology, but by self-respect. For the first time in my life, I wasn't bracing for the next explosion. I was building a life on solid ground, and I wasn't building it alone.